Welcome to In the Zone. I, of course, am your host, Chris Broussard. And boy, do we have a great show for you today. We're talking to Robert Covington, who's having a great season down in Philadelphia as the third guy behind the dynamic duo of Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. He gives us some great insight into those two budding superstars. But first, I've got to hit you with my top five. And since we interviewed Robert Covington, who is one of the top 5 shooters in three-pointers made this season, it got me to thinking, who do I think are the best 5 shooters in NBA history? At number 5, I'm going with Klay Thompson. A few years ago, I began asking players around the league, who's the best shooter in the league? Is Steph Curry the best shooter in the league or ever? The one name I consistently heard to compete with Steph was Klay Thompson. Guy said he's the one with the textbook form on his jumper. And look, the guy scored 60 points in 29 minutes in December of 2016 in a game against the Pacers. The only player ever to score 60 points or more in less than 30 minutes since the shot clock was put in 1954. He is the lesser regarded of the Splash Brothers, but do not sleep on Klay Thompson's stroke. At number 4, Reggie Miller. Yes, indeed, this guy is arguably the most clutch player of all time. And most of those clutch plays he made were three-pointers. This dude had blood in his, ice in his veins and was tremendous from behind the arc. Ask the New York Knicks, who in 1995 in a playoff game were ahead of the Pacers with 18 seconds left. Miller hits 2 three-pointers, scores 8 points in the final 18 seconds to lead the Pacers to a come-from-behind victory. Now, it did happen when the NBA's three-point line was shorter, just 22 feet all around, as opposed to 23.9 like it is today at the top. However, who in their right mind doubts that Reggie would have hit those threes, even from the longer distance? Reggie Miller deserves number 4. At number 3, Ray Allen. Now, Ray Allen is viewed as a shooter today because of his years in Boston and Miami, where he won titles. However, unlike the last 2 guys I mentioned, this guy was incredibly athletic and a tremendous slasher, the most all-around player of the 3 I've mentioned so far. But his shooting range, his shooting ability should not be understated. Of course, go back to 2013, San Antonio Spurs ready to celebrate. The ropes are out. I was there. The ropes were out. Everybody thought it was over, and Ray Allen saves the Miami Heat and the man LeBron James, delivering them their second title with arguably the greatest shot in NBA history, a three-pointer from the corner. At number 2, Larry Bird. I don't care about shooting percentages. I don't care what his shooting percentage was from three-point range. This guy was a great shooter, arguably the best shooter of all time. Unbelievable range, unbelievably clutch. He was the first guy in the mid-'80s when the three-point shot was really just a desperation heave that you threw up when you had to. He was the first to use it as a weapon. And this guy did it because of his lack of athleticism. He had to become one of the most craftiest or the craftiest players ever. And he often used a deft pump fake to get his opponents in the air and be able to get off his three-pointers. Larry Bird at number 2. And at number 1, you probably know Steph Curry. Again, I don't care that he's only shooting 37% from three-point range this season. Steph Curry, undeniably, undisputably, the best shooter in NBA history. He has literally changed the game. And I know Kevin Durant is probably the Warriors' best player, but Steph Curry is their most important player because of the way he stretches the defense so much out nearly to half court that he opens up everything. You take Kevin Durant off that team, they still can win a title. They already did. Take Steph Curry off, and I doubt it because he's the best shooter we've ever seen. All right, we welcome in Robert Covington, who's having a tremendous season with the Philadelphia 76ers, averaging 15 points a game, shooting 42% from three-point range. Unquestionably one of the best 3-and-D players in the league, Robert Covington. Welcome to In the Zone. First of all, man, congratulations on your new contract. 4 years, $62 million. What does that sound like when you hear that?
Man, this is a breath of fresh air, man. After the journey I've had to take, and it's amazing. I'm very blessed to be where I'm at now, and I'm very thankful.
You talked about some of the ups and downs. We know you were, not drafted out of Tennessee State. You spent time in the D League at that time, won Rookie of the Year. Give me a story about the D League that most fans wouldn't know that kind of encapsulates what it's like to play down there.
Man, the travel, the way, the resources you have, and it was fortunate. I got to see both sides of everything, and that made me appreciate it even more.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing with that, and then just seeing the true grind of everything.
Now, I imagine that how confident were you that you were going to make it to the NBA when you were in the D League? And what was your backup plan? I'm guessing your backup plan was going overseas if you didn't make it. Outside of basketball, was there a backup plan that if you didn't make it as a professional player, you would do this or that?
I thought about going back to school and getting not finishing my degree, but getting my master's.
Okay.
And utilizing that, but I knew I had the skill set and everything. A lot of guys that I've seen that had got the opportunity. I've played against a lot of them guys, and I've played really well against them and prospered. So I feel like I still had a shot or whatnot. So I wasn't gonna give up. I felt like overseas was gonna be my option. I was going. When Houston released me, I was kind of going back and forth. What I wanted to do, whether I wanted to, just go overseas and get a tech, or play over there, or just grind it out in the D League. And I decided to take the D League route because I had already shown basically what I was capable of, the way I played in the D League. So I didn't act like, God that, was just, I didn't act like how certain people, acted at times. Like they go down there, feel like they was better than anyone. I went down there to make guys better. And that's how, all my coaching staff and everyone told me the same thing. They said, you ain't one of the guys that act like you're better than nobody. You came down here, you actually work, you making guys do different things, and that makes you even more valuable to the team. And it showed because my teammates, really, had high praise about what I said. They said I didn't treat nobody, different, I didn't, act a certain way. Just always professional. That's how you gotta act.
What now that you have this huge contract? What was your first purchase, or what will be your first purchase if you haven't gone out already and, splurged a little bit and celebrated?
I was working on getting me a new car beforehand. I'm actually giving my dad my original car. I just bought me a car. That's about it.
You gonna say what kind?
Range Rover.
A Range Rover?
Not brand new though.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
Not brand new though.
So are you real frugal with your money?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Just because I feel like I have it now doesn't mean I have to act like, it's a big change. It's definitely a big change, but I still act like I don't have, before. Like I still act like the same way. And that's how you have to be in order to, make sure that you put yourself in that, that category, how everybody, goes broke or everything.
Yeah.
30 series. You got to be very mindful of your money. I don't really buy nothing crazy.
Or I assume you were a late bloomer because you went to Tennessee State, which obviously is a good program, but, they don't have a ton of NBA players. Were you kind of a late bloomer coming out of high school and all that?
No, not necessarily bloomers. Just with all the talent and everything that was coming out of Chicago, was a lot of guys that was you know that had the rankings, everything that played a part in. And I just one of the ones that kind of stayed under the radar because I lived in the suburbs. I went to suburban high school, and all the kids that pretty much got the recognition was the kids that was in the city. So, but I got the recognition once we had big time tournaments or played against some of them guys. That's when people started taking notice. But it's just like as I got older and more mature, I sat up here and I really like took my game from like okay to wow, this kid's really can be special or not. But it just came from the work ethic, everything. Just playing and making sure that I always handle my business.
So you end up in the NBA. You're with Philadelphia, which let's just face it, was trying to lose. All right, and I've had agents tell me like their players didn't want to go there, or they didn't want their players there. I've had coaches and executives around the league tell me, they would never tank because they don't want to bring that losing mentality into the organization. What was it like as a player going through the quote unquote process in Philadelphia those years?
Uh, it was an opportunity for me because I didn't really get the opportunity to play like that in my first year because of the way Houston had me down in the D League went 30 years, so I didn't really get to prosper like that. And my agent was like, "That's a good opportunity for me to go. There's minutes there, there's minutes to be taken, and you can solidify yourself if you had the right opportunity. Like the worst thing that could come is if you didn't play well, but if you play well and you establish yourself, you know you could play for 29 teams. There's no, you never know what situation can happen from it, and that's how my agent made me look at it. It's like given opportunities, it's there. You just gotta take advantage of it.
Was there a level of freedom you felt in that? Like I said, the team wasn't really trying to win, so that pressure wasn't on you. You could just kind of go out and play loose and free. Was that an element or not?
We still, even though we had having that rough patch, I still went out and looked at it as just maintain,
The
and
players were trying
you
to
got to go
win.
out and do. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we was trying to win and whatnot, and it was tough a lot, but it also came with an experience. It wasn't just like, you know, that was the situation. It was just forcefully. It was a lot of inexperience that played a part in it. You had guys that hadn't really played, in them type of settings or whatnot, and trying to find their way, and that's what was what was presented. So I mean, it happens.
So now you obviously have two tremendous young teammates in Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. Most people consider you guys a team of the future, but how good do you think you can be this season?
We're still putting everything together, but this team, once we get the chemistry and everything set up the way we picture it, man, this team, we're gonna be very, very special because we have so much talent that you know different guys in different positions can be different players, and that's how we've guarded, and that's how we've put ourselves positions we put ourselves in. And it's been an amazing journey like thus far, and the work that we put in all season, like before training camp even started, we all bought into what we was, we all talked to each other while we was away, and we all bought into, what we wanted to do as a team, and we all came back early just based off of strength that we knew what we was coming into, and guys guys want the opportunity, and that was what everyone viewed. Everyone pictured the same thing. Everybody had the same mindset, and we all bought into it. And when you have a team that does that, that's when you start to realize exactly what can happen, what can be very beneficial to a team.
When you look at Embiid and Simmons and yourself, how long realistically, how long do you think before you guys are capable of winning a championship?
The more mature and the more we grow as a unit, and already see the glimpses of what we're capable of, and we haven't played more than 20 games together, and you see the type of talent that we have and what we can utilize, especially with this team. And I say give us maybe year or two. Like this team will be very, very special.
Tell me something about Ben Simmons that would surprise people.
Ben is a goofball.
A goofball?
Ben jokes all day.
Is he funny?
He's a kid.
Or is he corny?
Nah, he's funny. He's funny.
It's so because on the court you don't see that. He seems almost stoic a bit on the court.
Yeah, on the court he's a person that's trying to get his job done and trying to put everyone in the right position and want to see guys do well. But off the court, he just like the rest of us, like guys that like to have fun. That sit up here and make jokes. We crack jokes about each other. And he's one that he's still learning a lot. So he takes everything that we tell him, and he has so many individuals around him that we play a lot. We joke around. Like that's just how we are as a team, and we crack jokes on each other. And there's so many different personalities on this team. You get to see it.
Embiid, you mentioned kind of colorful characters on the team. I mean, Embiid seems like that from Instagram and just his comments and stuff. What's he like, behind the scenes?
The Embiid you see on social media is the Embiid you get. That's him. That's his personality. He's a great individual. Like he has a great personality. He does so much for us, and the way he carry himself, just like a true fan, he just like to have fun and like he like to make jokes. Like a lot of times, people mistake what he be saying or whatnot. But Joe's a great person. Like I've watched him grow over the past few years since my first year here, and just one that likes to have fun. Like that's just his personality. That's what he does, and that's what's going to continue to be him. Because no matter what, he's going to put himself in the right position. And his personality, he never will get dull, and that's what he views as. Nobody's never going to get dull with him.
Who's the funniest guy on the team?
Joe.
Oh, he is? Okay. So do y'all crack on each other, and is he the guy nobody really wants to go against as far as cracking on each other?
No, we still mess with him, at certain times. It's just sometimes he be like, yeah, that's funny, but all right.
You gonna lose if you trash talk with him, huh? he trash talks a lot on the court. Is that accurate? That's the view.
Yeah, that's JoJo. He wants you to know that you have to sit up here, and in order for him to be better than him, like you don't have to prove it. If not, he gonna let you know.
So what's the funniest, or I don't know if funny is the word, but thing that you've heard him say on the court to somebody?
He can't guard. He gonna foul out.
He'll say that to guys. Like, give me the ball. He can't guard me. He gonna foul out.
All right. We've heard it numerous of times.
How do the other guys react? The opponent.
On our team?
No, on the other team.
Other guys take it as a challenge. Like, are you serious? But I mean, it shows on the court. Like a lot of times,
he does.
The defender he's going up against he's so big and so strong. Like, and he's so nimble on his feet that he's a hard guard, and now he's starting to put his whole game together. Like, man, he's starting to unleash talent that he knew he had, but now he's starting to really touch in on it. So, like that's part of that's allowing Joe to like really elevate his game.
Now those two guys, Embiid and Simmons, are obviously stars, but this is the era of the big three. And in November, you've averaged 19.6 rebounds, 50% shooting. Those are basically all-star numbers. Do you kind of consider yourself like that third member of the Sixers' big three?
Yeah, I could put myself in that category. But I just try to do the little things that make us better as a whole. That's the mindset of how. Like I always picture it, like what's going on. I try to do all those little things that make us better as a unit, and it's fortunate that it helps me stand out. Being a part of this unit like we have all the right pieces, and I'm fortunate. Like we prospering in the right way, and we're playing the right way, and our game is showing. It's a big it's a big aspect of everything. And we have so many guys that can utilize. He can turn it on at many different aspects of the night. Realistically, it's not just a big three. Like honestly, like we have so many guys that can do so much for this team. It's scary, like because not a lot of people have that.
What do you feel like you can become individually in this league? All-star, all NBA? Like what do you feel is your ceiling?
My feeling is I just want to I don't really get caught up in all the accolades or anything. I just want to be the best player that can help myself and my teammates win. Whatever position that puts me in, like I will be that because I always want to make sure that it's not just about me. It's about us as a whole. Without your team, like you can't really prosper the way you want to if you just focusing on if you solely focused on yourself. And the way we play, we have so many different guys on this team that there's no I really. Like guys are have the concept of what our team is, and that's what allows us to prosper. Because we sit up here and no one selfish. Like everyone makes plays for each other, and like not too many guys have that mindset, or really no one. Everyone sit up here in this locker room like we understand what we have, and we have to put all the pieces together in order for us to be great. Because in order for us to make our goals come true, we all have to lock in, and there can be no separation in between nothing.
So one of the things you do, you mentioned the little things. This is a big thing, obviously, but you're known as a very good three-point shooter. But your career, 36% from the arc. This year, 47%. What's the difference? Like, how'd you make such an improvement?
Mechanics, repetitions, really looking into, what me and my trainers, because I wasn't able to work out as often because I was rehabbing my knee and I wasn't cleared. They just wanted me to be precautious to when, I could really realistically be able to work out is when they see me again to really get an idea of what, how we would go about it. They didn't want nothing to go wrong while I was gone, and that way they couldn't monitor it. So, once they finally cleared me, they seen me clear me, that's when I was able to, really start to amp up everything. But mostly it was just the repetitions of everything and really focusing on, my mechanics and my technique.
Did you change your shot at all?
Nah, not at all.
Okay. Well, you're one of the top 3 and D guys in the league. Who's the toughest player in the league to guard?
The toughest to guard right now would be, I would say Kyrie would be the toughest.
Now, have you actually guarded him?
Yeah.
So what's that? That must be crazy. With is his handle what makes it so hard?
Yeah, he's so nimble. Like if you stop one move, he hits you with a counter. If you stop that move, he hits you. Like he has so much that he can add. Like it's hard to really sit down and like really lock in.
Now,
but I mean, it's I can utilize my length, but it's just so hard when he's so low to the ground that it makes him that much more elusive to really lock in. And he's so versatile.
So it's harder to guard a smaller guy like him than a LeBron or KD or Giannis or somebody like that.
Yeah. I mean, KD is definitely one of the hardest as well, but he's 7 foot. Everybody say 6'11" or whatnot, but he's a footer here. Well,
yep.
But he's a big guy that can play, that has guard-like skills. Like he's definitely hard, and his length adds that much more hard. But it's Kyrie just that package that he has that makes him that much more elusive. And the way he's playing right now is, man.
Yeah, he's balling. Who's the biggest trash talker in the league?
The biggest trash talker is probably
Joel Embiid.
Just because I see it, I would give him that. But
how often is he talking?
That,
every possession? Often?
No, not every possession. But if he's going, we're gonna hear him. Like if he has it going, like he's definitely gonna hear it. Like whoever he's guarding, when he's in LA, like they heard it, they knew it.
So who you were gonna say? There's some other big trash talkers in the league. Who are some of the bigger ones outside of Embiid?
Trash talk.
Really? CP3? Okay.
Melo. It's a few other guys that
What's the craziest thing somebody has said to you?
Oh, the craziest I've heard was what Melo said.
What he
when the first game I played in Madison Square Garden, and I checked in the coach, and he asked the coach, "Who's this? How do we guard him?" And the coach was like, "Just put a hand up." I think that's the craziest thing, and I went 4 for 4 that game.
Oh, really? So was he trying to be funny, or he just didn't know who you were?
Just didn't know, I guess. Because I just got signed in from the Grand Rapids.
Well, who is the most underrated player in the league?
I'll say myself.
Okay.
But people are starting to take notice now. But I've done so much for this team, and just put the hard work and everything. Like my teammates have helped me get better, my coaches have helped me get better, and you don't get the record, but it's the little things that coach always talk about that they take notice about, and my teammates take notice about that. They value it, but other people don't see it as often. So my teammates give me high praise, and they always tell me that I have to continue to work, never get comfortable or whatnot. But it's also, they see me in the right situation and they help me put myself in the right situation to make sure that I always, I'm always very, very, very humble and in the right to make sure that we as a team are held together and everybody's doing the right thing.
You've matched up same position obviously as LeBron James. What's it like going against him?
You got to contain him. He does so much for that team. He's the facilitator. When he has to get a bucket, it's hard for him. I try to be as elusive as I can. Throw different types of matchups at him, and make it harder for him. But he's one of the best. The best player in the league right now.
You think LeBron's still the best?
He makes it. He makes so many different plays. Like you can't take it from him.
Yeah.
Like he still does so much.
Who's harder to guard between him and Durant?
Durant.
Okay, because of the length.
Yeah, the length. What he does. LeBron is trying to be more of a facilitator and make sure that guys are all putting themselves in the right position. So he's a natural born scorer and he has so much that he does.
Yeah. Last thing, what is Rob Covington like off the court? Like, what are your interests, hobbies, things like that?
Off the court, I like doing a lot of fun things. I like ping pong, playing pool, going bowling, a lot of things that, really take your mind off of basketball, stuff that, you can unwind and have fun in different aspects. Like I go to Dave & Buster's all the time. I go to the bowling alley, go to the pool hall, just being in the house, relaxing and playing video games, stuff like that. Like that's just me.
Is there a game outside of basketball that the team is really competitive at, like guys really competing at? Or maybe it's video games?
Yeah, video games. You got some guys that play cards. It's a different group.
Yeah.
Some guys that play video games, some guys that play cards. You got other guys that go to the movies and stuff like that. I guess different hobbies. Like everybody have different interests, and sometimes guys we'll link up and be like, yo, we gonna do this as a unit. Or maybe all go to the movies or something. Maybe all go out to dinner. We all go out to bowling alley or something of that nature, just where we all, enjoying each other's company outside of basketball, take our minds off of it.
So y'all do hang out a lot as a team?
Yeah. We all hang out. We got guys that, on the road we hang out a lot.
You bowl. What's your average? I'm going to tell you why I'm asking this, because I asked, Derrick Rose told me when he was a rookie that he loves bowling. So I was like, oh, man, he must be good. I said, what's your average? He said, like, about 115. I was like, what? So are you good, or you just like bowling?
Nah, I'm good. I'm not as good as I used to be because in college I didn't go as often, but I used to be really good. As like on a pro level almost.
Really?
My highest game is actually I used to bowl in the bowling league all the time. Like my mom worked at a sports store, so any sport you can name we've had. We had basketball, we had football, baseball, hockey, soccer, tennis. Like you name it, we had it in the house.
Have you done a 300 game? Have you hit a 300 game before?
My highest is 299.
299. Wow.
I bowled a 9 at the last frame because as I was going to bowl, a little kid had walked in my way, and I was in the midst of throwing the ball right, and I couldn't stop myself.
Oh.
So I had to go around the kid and alter my bowling.
Oh.
And it knocked down 9 instead of the 10.
What's your second best sport to basketball? Is it bowling?
Yeah, I really enjoy bowling.
Okay.
Like, that's one thing that I do whenever my spare time. I would even go like. We have this thing here in Philly where Lucky Strikes used to have $15 all you can bowl, and from 9 to 12, and it'd be at times I go there like 2, maybe 3 times a week.
Well, Rob, man, I appreciate your time, brother. Great start to the season so far, and just keep it up. I'm looking forward to seeing how far you go individually and the team goes.
Thank you. The sky's the limit, man. As long as we keep doing what we're doing, this team is very special.
All right, brother. Peace.
All right, see.
Thanks, Robert. Well, there it is for In the Zone. We will not have a segment of Knockdown Jay today. Jason McIntyre needed a break. I've been punishing him quite a bit these last few weeks in that segment, so he had to take some time off. But he will be back joining me next week after he recruits. So remember to subscribe to In the Zone on iTunes, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts. Leave a comment, leave us 5 stars. Until we meet again next week. Peace.